that the first principle in investing is risk management. That is the number one thing. So first you have to protect your capital before you can talk of growing your capital. There's a very interesting article, and I think it's more than 45 years old, called The Loser's Game, that every game in the world can be classified as a winner's game or a loser's game. So what is a winner's game? For example, professional tennis, he says, is a winner's game where you have to serve very well. You have to go into these long volleys. You have to play brilliantly in order to win. Whereas if you're just playing at your local mohalla or club level, all you have to do is ensure you don't lose. Just keep the ball in play, and the person on the other side of the net will make enough mistakes for you to win. Or aviation, if you look at, aviation 60, 70 years ago, you think of J.R.D. Tata or Charles Lindbergh, all very dashing pilots, and you have to be adventurous, you have to think on the fly, you have to make do with, not the exact part, with some substitute. But that is not what aviation is today. Today, a pilot has only one way to fly a plane, which is to make no mistakes and go by the checklist. So if you look at investing also, once upon a time, it may have been a winner's game where you only had to look for the multi-baggers because the information was not so freely available. Only a few people were in the market. So you could find gems which nobody else could. Now that cannot be the entire part of your strategy, because there are a lot of smart people in the market. So you are not going to get multi-baggers every single time. So you have to look at a basket out of which some will be multi-baggers and some are going to be laggards, which you need to get rid of. So that has to be the mindset. So you have to first make sure you don't lose, you don't take a big hit on your capital. If you look at March this year, there were enough, not just individual investors, but unfortunately even professional fund managers who did not manage the portfolios well enough, and their investors went down by 25, 30, 35%, partly because there was also a very large chunk of the portfolios in financials. And then once you start with 100 rupees, you're down to 70 rupees or 65 rupees, then you have to go up 45, 50% before you even reach 100 rupees. So that's a very long haul. So the real thing is that if you can, not that you will take a zero hit, but from 100, if you went down only to 90 or 88, you have a good chance of coming back to 100 pretty quickly. So always look at that. And then, of course, there are other legs to that. If you look at, because navigating uncertainty is only just not about the very short term and what's going to happen in the next month or the next 3 weeks. It's an overall approach to how you're approaching your portfolio, how you're approaching your whole investment pie chart.